Birmingham City manager Gary Rowett looks ahead to Saturday's match with Rotherham United, hoping to take forward the positives from Tuesday night.
Every experience in football, I think, is a if you view it as a positive one and you view it as something you can learn from. I think Tuesday night would have been a fantastic one. Like you say, for the speculation that built up over a number of weeks ever since the draw was made, for players to have to handle that and the league games at the time, which could have seemed perhaps less important to some of them, but I don't think they did. But again, I'm sure that was an experience for them to handle. For us to fit a game like that into a busy schedule again is a real challenge. How to deal with it. I think we dealt with it in the right way in terms of a team we put out and the way we approached the game. For a team like ours to go out there once again against bigger opposition and to cope with the game and to look like a really good team at times. Of course, we didn't win the game, and obviously that's our biggest disappointment. But there's not many times you lose a game, lose a local derby, but yet still come out with quite a lot of credit in the way we played and in the way we handled the game. So, I'm really pleased with the players, and I'm really pleased with where we're at the minute, mentality-wise and physically and performance-wise. So, we've got to keep going now. That's done. It's how players also handle coming down from a game of that magnitude into a league game at home, which I've got no doubts they will, but that's going to be the challenge.
Blues' form has been impressive so far in the league, but the manager is keen for his side not to show any signs of complacency.
You can look at it two ways. You can be naive and think, because they've lost quite a few of their opening games and are bottom of the league, that the game's going to be a game where we should win. Or you can look at it and say they brought a lot of players in the summer. It takes time to settle, takes time to find your right formula and formation, and you could argue that they maybe found it on Saturday. So we've got to make sure that they don't build on what was a strong performance for them against a very good Cardiff side. So it's going to be an important game. It's important that we start really, really well in the game. But again, our home form has been excellent. We had a small blip against Forest. That sometimes happens. We found the same last season, that occasionally a team will come and nick a goal and hang on to that lead. Sometimes, again, you have to take it on the chin. So it'd be about us raising our performance level. We'll need the crowd as well to lift. It's going to be a challenge for them as also after Tuesday night's game to go again. And that's going to be important that we make the game a really good one for us and a really positive atmosphere. So, but that only comes with the players performing, and that's going to be down to them how they start the game. We'll be as prepared as usual. We'll be fully rested up. We certainly won't be lacking energy levels.
Rowett is hopeful David Cottrell will make a recovery in time for the Millers' visit, but admits Saturday's match may come too soon for the Welsh international.
We were touch and go whether he'd have a chance of making tomorrow's game. Obviously Tuesday we're hopeful that we might get him to play. I think he sort of let everyone know that he's going to be unavailable. We've also fined him for putting the inflatable boot on the wrong way round as well. The medical staff weren't too happy with that one. I'm hopeful that he might play. I'm doubtful that he probably will play, but we certainly miss him when he's not out there on the pitch. The prognosis with Erds was that well, hopefully it's not as bad. They said that there's two options. You can have an operation straight away, in which I think he'd be out for about 3 months, or you can wait 2 weeks and see if the shoulder can stabilise itself a little bit more naturally. I mean, the technicality of what I'm saying might be slightly wrong, but so therefore, and if it does, then he might only be out for about 6 weeks. So we felt, I think, with Erds, had a chat about it. The medical staff, very good group of guys that are really, really, excellent at their job. And I think we've all come to the same conclusion that it's well worth for 2 weeks just to see if we can avoid an operation, really. Because if if it gets opted on, then that's a huge blow for him. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah. So he's in good spirits. Disappointed, of course, but took some heart from the fact that he started his first league game for a long time and did well. The only doubt will be Cox at this moment in time, but has a chance of playing, and that's it. So we've only got 2 on the treatment table at the minute, and touch wood, it stays that way.
The manager now has selection decisions to make after recent changes have given him food for thought.
I think there's a number of players that are giving us food for thought. I think Shin's coming in against Ipswich did really well first half. Dave Davis, again, you know, we know what he's about. I think the one thing for me is I trust those players in games like that. You know, I felt as though tactically that's what the game dictated. I think first half it certainly proved that way. And he has given us food for thought. I think at the moment his challenges that the other two have been two of our best players consistently most games, and the same for Shins. You know, John's come in and had an immediate impact, so it's difficult to change too much, but there's certainly going to be an opportunity with the amount of games we're playing. There's going to be a loss of form at some point, there's going to be an injury or a suspension at some point, and that's where, you know, we need the group to be as strong as it is, and you know, I think there certainly will be opportunities, whether that's tomorrow. You know, we'll obviously have to make that decision and keep it to myself until the team's revealed. But, you know, certainly I thought his performance was very good.